What's up, guys? McCohn's in the house. Today I want to share with you a little bit about my philosophy of training, why I do what I do. Alright, so let's get into it. First thing, guys, a little bit about me. I'm a bit of a rule breaker. I bend the rules, I test the rules, I challenge them, and I've done it all my life. One, I've never really been a fan of law enforcement, okay? Two, when I was in the Army, you know, they had these rules where you couldn't have a tattoo from the elbow down to the wrist. You couldn't have tattoos from the knee down to the ankle. Any place that would be visible in your PT uniform. And I gave them this tattoo right here. It was almost like a middle finger thing, because you're not gonna control me. You're not gonna control me with your rules. I was an employee at OSU Medical Center, which may or may not be considered corporate America, but I was passed on promotion several times because I broke the rules. I told you guys that when I started training at Urban Active Polaris, you know, I was the only one that was basically like a true hybrid. I did sales and I was like a full-time trainer, and nobody else was doing that. It technically was not allowed in the business, but I did it because I broke the rules. That's just a little bit like about my personality, which really fits in good with fitness and exercise and health, because in those arenas, the rules are meant to be challenged. They're meant to be questioned. They're meant to be changed. They're meant to be questioned again, and just flat out sometimes they're meant to be broken. So I believe, as far as training is concerned, there's no right way or wrong way to do something. What works for one person may not work for the other person. So there's no right or wrong way, and you have to be open and be adaptive to different techniques and different methods. Now, this was not always my style. When I first started training, all I wanted to do was to keep people moving, to keep people's heart rate up. I, like, even still to this day, one of my favorite workouts to give people is like 5 different movements: push-ups, sit-ups, lunges, crunches, and squats, let's say, or pull-ups. And then you add in a 2-minute run or a quarter-mile run, and it just keeps people moving. You repeat that 3 or 4 times, and they feel good. They have a great workout. So that was like my very first philosophy. And then as I started learning more, I got into the 3 energy systems of the body: glycolysis, phosphagen, and oxidative. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all the techno babble that comes with that. However, I just use these things to manipulate the body, to manipulate people's fitness, to get the best results that I could for them. And what happened was I got really good results. So then, guys, I got stuck in my ways. So when new concepts came, or new trainers like came in my vicinity and they had a different way of doing things, I really didn't like it, because I knew like what I did worked. And I thought that everybody else should do the things that I was doing the way that I was doing them. So there was big time like cognitive dissonance there, and I felt like people were threatening like my way of being with their new training methods. And now, guys, things have totally changed for me. The more that I study, the more that I educate myself, the more I realize there's no right or wrong way to do something. Shakespeare has this saying: there's no right or wrong, only thinking that makes it so. So now, pretty much, guys, my philosophy is very simple. I talk about a marathon runner and a sprinter. And the marathon runner runs 13 miles, they run 21 miles, and oftentimes they don't have a lot of muscle mass, and they're still carrying like body fat. They have like the skinny, flabby fat. But your sprinter has thick legs, 6-pack abs, ripped upper body. And why is that? Because they're not running as long as the marathon runner is. They're running a really short distance, like a tenth, or if even that, of what the marathon runner is running. But the reason is they're doing more work per second. So every second of their training, they're putting in more effort, more energy than the marathon runner. So that is basically like my philosophy, more work per second. You move from one exercise to the next. Very short amount of rest. There's no reason to train for 90 minutes or 2 hours. You need 45 minutes to an hour, and then you get out of there. So that means that when you're training, you're not scrolling through your phone, you're not looking at pictures, trying to find the right song to get pumped up to. You're not even talking to other gym patrons, people in the gym. The breath that you use to talk to somebody, that's the same breath that you can use for your next set. So I'm all about movement, getting done, one exercise to the next, to the next. And oxygen burns fat. So if you are, you need to take a break, then you get down into a position with your hands on your knees. Take in deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth 5 or 6 times, and you're ready to go to the next exercise. So that is my philosophy when it comes to training. Don't spend a lot of time talking. Stay moving, keep people moving, and go from one exercise to the next quickly. But this doesn't mean that you do exercises with poor form. You don't execute the exercise quickly, you do that correctly, but you go from one to the next very quickly. So, and this is just my philosophy, guys. This is not McCohn's Muscles philosophy. It's not Matt's philosophy. It's not Mo's. What works well for them might not work well for people who gear toward me, and then the same thing, what works well for me might not work well for people who prefer Matt's style of training. So that's the beauty of what we have here at McCohn's Muscle. We have different styles, different methods, different concepts, and what it does is it shocks the body, and different people gravitate towards the individual trainer, and it's great. It works out great. So if you're interested in coming and finding out our style, our concepts, and the way that we train, because we are the lead training facility in Columbus, Ohio, then I want you to leave your email address in the comments or the DMs, and then we'll connect and get you in for a fitness assessment, or we'll talk about exercise or nutrition, something. We're gonna get you rolling, all right? So y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the gym soon. Peace.